Cheers. Right. Martin, please. Thank you.
There should be 5 slides to be shown here. I can't hear you.
We didn't receive any slides from you, I apologise.
Okay. We'll do it without slides. Good morning. Thank you for giving me this time. Barnett Park in Redcliffs was locked up after the earthquakes for about 10 years because of the risk of rockfall from the bluffs. During that time, the seed plants, bone seed, banana passion fruit, pig's ear became rampant, and possum, rats and stoat populations increased. 3 years ago, a small group of locals put themselves under the wing of the Residents Association and started weeding the area, and we've put in that little over 2 years, over 2,000 hours of weeding to remove those pest weeds. We've also raised, through applications to different funding agencies, over $30,000, and $10,000 of those dollars we've spent on contractors clearing weeds in our Barnett Park. We've had wonderful support from the rangers, but they're stretched and they do what they can. In 2022, a Council Three Waters Healthy Water Bodies Facilitator, don't quite know how they get those names, commissioned an aquatic ecology survey and revealed eel, galaxis and bullies in a little waterway known by your asset team in Three Waters as the Rifle Range Drain. So that's the stream coming down Monks Valley that comprises Barnett Park, and that stream has been put into a narrow channel. Over the major rain events last autumn and winter, we monitored the flows from those streams and saw that they were discharging large quantities of silt into the estuary, and they flow eventually through one of your assets so that that flow is subject to your water rights. We advocated to Three Waters to have something done, and I'd like to read from one short section of the written submission which you've got. This is a quote from an email from one of the Three Waters engineers. As a result of your advocacy for Rifle Range Drain, our creek, that drain has been put on the list of jobs for the first 2 to 3 years of the project. So this is the Southwest Port Hills and Littleton Harbour Erosion Sediment Project, which is fully funded. The task assigned against Rifle Range Drain is waterway stabilisation and valley waterway planting. It continues and concludes by saying funding is less likely to be made available for revegetation alone. So we've got a commitment from these people to your staff to renaturalise the stream, to batter back the banks and to plant it. However, in March this year, we received information from staff that this was no longer going to be done, and in direct contrast to the statement that I've read out, funding is less likely to be made available for revegetation alone. They've said that that is now what they're planning to do. So our submission to you is to please stick to your promise. The money's there. The proposal is sound. It will reduce water carrying large quantities of silt entering the estuary and will ensure compliance with your stormwater resource consent. Thank you.
Pauline, please.
Thanks, Martin. Do you know the quantum of that funding?
Sorry, I can't hear.
For how much that funding was or is?
The budget is $9 million to be spent over 5 years for that whole project. The work that is required in Barnett Park is a tiny fraction of that. I don't believe it has been budgeted.
Right, thank you.
Sarah, please.
Thanks so much, Martin, and thanks for the work that's happening out there. You mentioned that you'd had to fundraise to pay for contractors to come and clear pest species from the weed species and things from Barnett Park, which is a council reserve. How much more work is needed and in that space for actually just clearing all the bone seed and the banana passion fruit and stuff to allow the other species to grow back?
Well, it's probably a generation. The seed fall from the bone seed that took place over those 10 years of neglect is a massive quantity. Fortunately, because of the heavy grass cover, the seeds are not falling all to the ground. They're being held up and will rot. We've worked with a little bit of the ECAN people and believe that the seeds are viable for 7 years. So there's a minimum of 7 years, but it will be longer. The banana passion fruit is the tougher one because the possums feed on it, scurry away, replant it, fertilised. So we're working hard on that. The rangers will tell you that it requires continual maintenance, but the planting we're doing and the council's doing, the rangers are doing some of their own, will slowly reclaim the valley.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Diane, please.